Hi everyone, this is the Nordic Venture Show, your guide to the exciting world of Nordic startups and venture capital. In today's episode, we're exploring a startup called AVO.
Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we are talking all about clean data.
That's right.
The kind that just makes your analytics sing, your insights just sparkle.
Exactly.
We're talking about AVO,
Of
and
course.
they are all about making bad data a distant memory.
You think of it this way. You wouldn't try to bake a cake with a recipe that's got ingredients missing, right?
Right.
That's what it's like, trying to make decisions based on messy data.
Totally.
Avo's trying to be that reliable recipe,
Okay.
making sure you've got all the right ingredients in the right amounts.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
We've been diving deep into AVO's website,
Okay.
and they really seem to get this whole data quality struggle.
They do.
They're all about finding, fixing, and preventing those pesky data issues before they even become a problem.
Exactly. And what's interesting is they're not just saying, hey, use our tool and everything will be perfect.
Right.
They're talking about a fundamental shift in how teams should approach data.
Okay.
It's this proactive approach they emphasize, which is really refreshing.
So they've got our attention with the whole proactive thing.
Yeah.
But how does AVO actually work?
Right.
Their website mentions something called a modern data stack.
Yeah.
What is that all about?
So a modern data stack basically refers to the collection of tools and technologies that businesses are using these days to collect, store, analyze, and act on their data.
Okay.
Think of things like your data warehouses,
Yeah.
your analytics platforms, maybe your CRM systems.
Gotcha.
Avo's designed to integrate with this existing ecosystem.
So it's not about ripping and replacing everything you've already got.
Right.
That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
They specifically call out data observability and monitoring, collaborative schema management, tracking plan management, and analytics implementation. Sounds like they've got all the bases covered.
They do, and let's break those down a bit because they're not just fancy buzzwords.
Okay.
Take data observability and monitoring.
Okay.
Imagine having a real-time dashboard that acts like a health monitor for your data. You'd see any anomalies or inconsistencies popping up immediately, kind of like a smoke detector for your data.
Like a smoke detector. Okay. I'm starting to see how this could be a game changer.
Right.
Catching those data errors early on could save so much headache down the line.
Totally.
And then there's collaborative schema management.
Yeah.
Does that mean everyone gets to argue over spreadsheets now?
Well, hopefully not.
Okay.
It's actually about getting everyone on the same page when it comes to defining and organizing your data.
Yeah.
A schema is basically a blueprint that defines what your data looks like and how it's structured.
Okay.
Avo's tools are designed to make creating and managing this blueprint a team effort, so everyone, from developers to analysts, is speaking the same data language.
So no more deciphering cryptic data fields
Right.
that only one person in the company understands.
Exactly.
That alone would be worth its weight in gold.
Absolutely.
For some teams,
Lucky.
sure.
Yeah.
And this ties directly into the next piece, tracking plan management. Imagine having a centralized place where you map out exactly which user actions or events you want to track
Right.
and how you're going to track them.
It's about bringing structure and consistency to your data collection process.
It's like having a roadmap for your data,
Exactly.
making sure everyone's following the same direction.
Exactly. And this is where Avo really shines because they're not just providing the tool.
Right.
They're advocating for a collaborative approach.
Okay.
They even have features like branched workflows.
Okay.
Think of it like version control for your tracking plan
Okay.
and peer reviews to make sure everyone's on board with any changes.
Now that sounds like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
I've heard horror stories of teams where data tracking is like the Wild West, no clear guidelines, everyone doing their own thing.
Right.
Avo's trying to bring some much needed order to the chaos.
It seems that way.
Yeah.
And they back up their approach with some impressive names already using Avo.
Okay.
Condé Nast, for example.
Condé Nast. Okay.
It seems like they're trusted by some major players who understand the importance of high-quality data.
Big names definitely lend credibility, especially in the data world where
Yes.
accuracy is everything.
For sure.
Speaking of accuracy, one thing that caught my eye was this AVO inspector they keep mentioning.
Yeah.
Is that like a detective for your data?
It's a fitting analogy.
Okay.
They claim it helps you find and fix data quality issues quickly.
Right.
which we all know can be a tedious and time-consuming process.
I'm always a bit skeptical of tools that promise to magically solve all your problems.
Sure.
But I'm curious to dig deeper into this Avo inspector and see what it's all about.
Skepticism is healthy, I think, when it comes to any new tool. But Avo seems to be backing up their claims with some pretty solid features.
Okay.
They talk about how the inspector simplifies the process of identifying and fixing data errors.
Right.
Imagine being able to see exactly where your data is going off the rails without having to sift through mountains of logs or code.
Well, that's a superpower I wouldn't mind having.
Right. And it's not just about putting out fires, right? Avo seems to be equally focused on prevention.
Right.
They even have this bold statement on their website, bad data to good data.
It is a bold statement.
Yeah.
But they're essentially saying they can help you turn your messy data into a reliable source of insights.
Okay.
They're not just patching holes, they're trying to fix the leaky pipes at the source.
And how do they propose to do that? Is it just fancy algorithms working their magic behind the scenes?
It's more than just algorithms.
Oh.
Remember that emphasis on collaboration we talked about earlier?
Yeah.
That's a key part of their bad data to good data approach.
Okay.
By involving everyone in the data lifecycle and providing tools for clear communication and shared understanding, they're aiming to prevent bad data from ever entering the system in the first place.
It's like that old saying, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. But it's one thing to talk a big game. It's another to actually deliver.
Right.
Do they have any proof that this whole Avo thing actually works? Well, they do have a few satisfied customers who seem to agree.
Okay.
Take Ioana Vasakuda, a data analyst at Condé Nast, for example.
Okay, Condé Nast.
She talks about how Avo has been a game changer for them, helping to standardize data across all their different platforms, brands, and even international markets.
Condé Nast is a huge name with a ton of moving parts.
That's huge.
If Avo can wrangle their data, that says something.
Exactly. And it's not just about handling large volumes of data.
Okay.
Varath Krishnamurthy, director of product analytics at another company,
Okay.
calls Avo their single source of truth for hundreds of event definitions.
Right.
They've been using Avo for over 2 years and can't imagine going back to their old ways.
Okay, so we got big names like Condé Nast.
Right.
But what about the little guys? Can smaller companies benefit from Avo too?
Absolutely. They actually have a testimonial from Nicholas Threepleton, a lead product analyst at a smaller company,
Okay.
who calls buying Avo one of his most impactful decisions.
Wow.
He says it's become the foundation of their entire analytics operation.
That's interesting. So it sounds like Avo isn't just for data giants.
Right.
It's scalable and flexible enough to work for companies of all sizes.
It does seem that way.
Okay.
And speaking of flexibility, another thing that stands out about Avo is their focus on speed and efficiency.
Right.
They talk a lot about shipping faster with flawless tracking, which is music to the ears of any developer or product manager who's ever had to deal with slow and buggy tracking implementations.
In a fast-paced world of tech, speed is key.
Yeah.
But how does Avo actually help teams move faster without sacrificing accuracy?
They offer a bunch of cool features to streamline the implementation process.
Okay.
Like code snippets and in-app debuggers.
Gotcha.
Instead of wasting time writing boilerplate code or struggling to find errors, developers can use these tools to implement and validate tracking changes quickly and confidently.
So it's like having a co-pilot for your data tracking.
Right.
Making sure you're on the right track and don't hit any unexpected turbulence.
Exactly. They even mentioned something called code-generated type-safe wrappers, which might sound intimidating, but it basically means they're using code to guarantee error-free tracking.
Now that's what I call attention to detail.
Right.
They're not just throwing tools at the problem.
Right.
They're thinking about the entire developer experience, which is often overlooked.
Absolutely. And it goes beyond just implementation.
Okay.
Avo also emphasizes the importance of data governance and enablement, making sure that everyone in the organization has access to the right data at the right time.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Because what good is all this clean, consistent data if nobody knows how to access it or use it effectively?
Right. They talk about integrating with a variety of analytics tools, CDPs, and even using webhooks to keep everything in sync.
Okay.
It's all about democratizing access to data and empowering teams to make better decisions.
So it's not just about cleaning up the data itself.
Right.
It's about creating a data-driven culture where everyone is speaking the same language and working towards the same goals.
Exactly. And that's where Avo's true value lies, in my opinion.
Okay.
It's not just a tool, it's a philosophy, a way of thinking about data as a strategic asset that needs to be carefully managed and nurtured.
It's like they're saying data isn't just something that sits in a silo, it's the lifeblood of your organization.
Yeah.
And to keep that blood flowing smoothly, you need the right tools and the right mindset.
Precisely. It's about breaking down those data silos and building a culture of data literacy where everyone understands the value of good data and how it can be used to drive better outcomes.
So from messy data to data-driven decisions, Avo seems to be offering a pretty compelling path forward.
Yeah.
As we're nearing the end of our deep dive here, what's your biggest takeaway from all of this? What's the one thing that really sticks with you?
You know what fascinates me most about Avo is how they're tackling this challenge on multiple fronts.
Okay.
They're not just providing a Band-Aid for bad data. They're addressing the root causes by emphasizing collaboration, proactive planning, and a deep understanding of the data lifecycle.
Yeah.
It's like they're saying, yes, tools are important, but it's the people and the processes that truly make the difference.
That's a really important point.
Yeah.
It's easy to get caught up in the bells and whistles of new technology,
Right.
but ultimately it's about how we use those tools to solve real-world problems.
Exactly. And that's what makes this whole conversation so exciting.
Yeah.
We're talking about empowering teams to be more data-driven, which ultimately leads to better products, happier customers, and a more successful business overall.
And who doesn't love a happy ending like that? It really makes you think about the ripple effects of something as fundamental as data quality.
Right.
It's not just about eliminating errors, it's about unlocking the true potential of your data and using it to make smarter decisions at every level of your organization.
Absolutely. And that's a journey that requires the right tools, the right mindset, and a commitment to continuous improvement.
Right.
It's not a destination.
Right.
It's an ongoing process.
That's such a great point to end on. It's not a one-time fix. It's about building a culture of data excellence.
Yeah.
So to our listeners out there, as you navigate the ever-evolving world of data, remember that clean, consistent data is not just a nice-to-have. It's the foundation for making smarter decisions, building better products, and ultimately achieving your business goals.
Well said.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the world of Avo and data quality. We hope you found it insightful and maybe even a little bit inspiring. Until next time, stay curious and keep those data dreams alive.
Thanks for listening to the Nordic Venture Show. Don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for more stories of innovation from the Nordics.